Okay, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know why my computer was not going live for me this morning. I guess something about my internet connection, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I'm here finally, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be doing a Kriya for inner awareness, and we'll be also doing a meditation to follow that. And this inner assessment Kriya is fairly short, and then we're going to be following it up with a experience the original you meditation. So we're going to be in these postures today. There's only 3 of them, and they're fairly simple postures, but we're going to be in them for 11 minutes each. So we're going to really take time to sink into these postures today. I know that's something that's different about Kundalini, is that we hold these postures for a very long time sometimes, and today we're going to be doing that. And that's because, to get to assess our inner being, it's not something that can just be done, just like that. And sometimes even sinking into it for a couple minutes, we will really step into that awareness and start to receive information from our higher self. But we really want to give ourselves that time to connect this morning. Something I was talking about on Facebook the other day was that it's so important that we really have a high perception of our own being, and that the way that we think about ourselves is very impactful on our life experience and our manifestation abilities. Not necessarily our manifestation abilities, but what we're manifesting, right? The quality of what we're manifesting. So, we live in a society or a culture where we're taught not to value the self. We're taught not to value the exterior of the self, and we're taught not to value the interior of the self. We're taught not to trust in our own being. We're taught that other people have the answers and that we don't, and that we should trust in those other individuals to direct our life choices and our life path. And so it's a really tough thing to break into that ability to trust in ourselves above everything else. And so it takes a lot of work. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is working on trusting in our own being. The quote that I put on our title page for our practice this morning was, "Whether you think you can or whether you think you can, you're right." It's a Henry Ford quote. And that's just with anything in life. We're the ones who set up the limitations for our experience, nobody else. Other people can say things to us, and they can, feed us a narrative about who and what we are, but it only becomes applicable to our experience when we create a belief around that thing that they told us, or that thing that we read, or we create a belief around who and what we are because of an experience that we had. We tend to like to label ourselves and compartmentalize who and what we are. So, if I have an experience where I think I failed or I made a massive mistake or something like that, it's so easy. Society kind of like pushes that narrative of like, oh, I'm a failure now. Oh, I'm not meeting other people's expectations, so I'm bad, or I'm not good. I'm not at the level I should be, and all of these kinds of things. So, we've talked in the past about our self-talk and how important that is, and we're creating a vibratory space that we're existing within with our vibration, what we're emitting, whether it be thought, word, or any of those things. So it's so important to pay attention to the quality of our thought life about who and what we are, because that's what we're going to be manifesting. That's the quality of what we're manifesting. So if I'm constantly putting myself down and having this thought life that is not serving my highest and greatest good, and it's constantly telling me how I'm a failure, how I should be ashamed of myself, how girls aren't as smart as boys, or whatever the old narrative is that I'm continuing to feed and I'm creating this belief system around, that's going to be the quality of what I manifest. That's what I'm going to be the magnet for, is the quality of that energy. So it's not about necessarily what I want to be. I can say what I want to be all day long. I can say what I want to achieve as much as I want to, but it takes me believing that I can do it, that is within my realm of reality, that it's not just within my realm of reality, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have those things. There's nothing that can come between me and the things that are meant for me. I have to really believe that, and it has to be that foundation from which I'm drawing to co-create everything around me. So today I want us to kind of go inside and assess the inner quality of our being and take note of where those things are not in alignment with the desire of the heart. So if the desire of the heart is that I get this specific job, or I have this specific kind of relationship, or whatever it is, if there's this fundamental belief inside of me that's limiting me from accessing that thing, then that's the thing to look at. You know, there's this belief inside of me that says that girls aren't as smart as boys. There's this belief inside of me that says girls will never make as much money as a man. Or there's this belief inside of me that says I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is. Once we look at that belief, then we can say that belief is only bringing energy into my life experience that I don't want, and now I have to change it. And that's a habit that we're creating to shift that mentality. So it takes time. It's a practice. This doesn't happen overnight most times. Sometimes it does. Sometimes we just choose the other thing and then we do this, our behavior reflects it. But sometimes it takes reminding. Sometimes these things are so ingrained in us, these old behaviors, these old thought patterns and things of that nature, that it takes consistency and it takes awareness of my thought life. It takes awareness of what am I projecting. So this is a good thing to kind of like create, not just on our mat. We're constantly saying, what is the quality of my energy? How am I feeling? What does this energy feel like inside of me? As this energy is alchemizing with my own being, how does that make me feel? The reason we want you to look at how does this make me feel is because we need to know what's shifting. What's shifting inside of me right now? What energy is drawing me towards it right now, so that I can look at my behavior and see what else, potentially needs to shift and become in alignment with that thing as well. So just make sure that you're looking at that stuff today, that you're being present with your body, that you're being present with your physical space. Like we've talked about, we're creating a safe space within our own body, within our own energetic field, for us to thrive, not just to survive, not just to exist, but to thrive. So the self-talk has to be in alignment with the thriving. The beliefs that we hold about who and what we are have to be in alignment with my desire to thrive. All of the things have to be in alignment. Because, like I said, it's not the words we speak. I can say I want this thing all day long, but if all of this other stuff is not energetically in alignment with that thing, I'm going to continue to draw into my experience this stuff, no matter what I say. No matter what I say I want, this is the quality of the energy that I'm going to continue to draw into my experience. So make sure that it's of the quality of energy that you want to experience. So let's go ahead and come into our easy seat. Come long through the spine. And this is where we start to radiate from our own being. This is where we start to show how we feel about ourselves by lifting up that heart, that rib cage, dropping the shoulders back and down, collarbones lifting up to the sky. Crown of the head is shining above us. Sitting in our power. And already sinking into the quality of your own being this morning, quality of energy. Collecting yourself, drawing your attention, your awareness back inside, and finding your breath. Releasing the belly on the inhalation and drawing the navel to the spine on the exhale, drawing that breath all the way down into the belly. Take those hands, start to rub them together. Create some heat between those hands this morning. Tuck those thumbs into the breastbone, fingertips are pointed into the sky, forearms are parallel to the earth, keeping those shoulders drop back and down. Relaxed into your easy seated posture. We're going to begin by tuning in this morning with Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times, tuning into those higher aspects of our being, opening up to the soul space. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And then inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath, apply your root block. If it's within your practice this morning, you're not pregnant, not on your moon cycle, no hypertension. Exhale, release the lock, release the breath. We're going to move on to the Mangala charm, creating that safe space on the mat so that we can do our own deep healing work. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale to begin. Adgure Name, Jigadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Adgure Name, Jigadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Adgure Name, Jigadgure Name, Sadgure Name, Sri Gurudeve Name. Inhale deeply, suspending the breath, apply your root lock. Exhale, release the breath, release the lock. Allow those eyes to flutter open whenever you're ready. Okay, so we're going to begin with our Kriya for Inner Assessment this morning. And like I said, that's going to be our ability to come back into our own being, to connect to those higher aspects of ourself, to be present, to listen, and just to receive whatever information is meant for us today. You know, and a lot of times when we do this stuff and I'm talking about these things, I don't want you guys to feel pressure of like, oh, I should be feeling certain things or experiencing certain things. Sometimes the awareness comes later. Sometimes the answers come after the fact. So just taking this opportunity to be present with yourself. Don't feel pressure if you don't receive like a certain amount of information or this thing that you think should happen. That's not how this works. Yes, maybe you'll experience some awareness this morning on your mat, but it might come later. So just remembering to be receptive, remembering that sometimes those things will release when they're meant to, and it's not always right here, okay? So no pressure with this. We're gonna start by coming into a couple exercises really quick to warm up the spine though, because we are gonna be seated for this. We're gonna take a little bit of movement so that we can get ready to relax. And it's cold out here, so I always have my blanket ready for me. So we're gonna lean into our legs this morning. We're gonna take those hands and just rest them down on the shin bones, just like this. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, release the chest towards the thighs. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, suspending the breath at the top, apply your root lock. Exhale, release the lock, release the breath. We're going to come up into our tabletop position so that we can come into that cat-cow. Hips are stacked on top of the knees, shoulders are stacked on top of the wrist. Inhaling and dropping the belly towards the earth, lift the gaze and the tailbone for the cow. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. And drawing the tailbone in for the cat. Inhale for your cow. Exhale for your cat. And just continuing on, waking up that spine, warming it up. Moving as fast or as slow as you need to. Come back to center, inhale. Apply that root lock, move on. Exhale. Come down into your easy seated posture, release the lock. Close the eyes. Take a moment to come back inside of the self. Find your breath. Gently allowing those eyes to flutter open whenever you're ready. We're going to come into our first exercise for our inner assessment kriya this morning. So taking the hands together in front of the heart space, we're going to slide. I'm going to make sure I'm sliding the right hand here, the left hand upward. And the right hand is going to come down just so it's at the base of the palm, where the palm and the wrist connect. So it's just in front of the forehead. Closing the eyes, drawing the attention inward and upward towards the third eye. And breathing in and out through the nose as slow as you can. So we're really slowing things down so that we can be deeply aware of our own internal being. Dropping those shoulders back and down. Making sure you're in a comfortable posture because we're going to be here for 11 minutes. Just finding your breath. Just taking note of what's going on inside, and just like we talked about before, remembering that if thoughts come up that you know are not serving you, choose not to engage. Witness them, see them, allow them to move past you, move through. When we engage in it, that's when we tend to apply judgment. We want to tell a story about it. No attachment, no judgment, only allowance and acceptance. No telling a story, no judging myself. Just allowing those things to move through. Remembering that I give power to things that I think about when I engage. When I choose to tell the story. When I create the judgments. When I relate it back to myself. So resist the urge to engage and allow it to move through. Be very conscious and picky about what you choose to engage with. Energy flows where your attention goes. Where energy flows, something grows. So do not feed the stuff that isn't meant for you. Taking note of how you're feeling in the body, how you're feeling emotionally. And then nurturing and supporting yourself where it's necessary. This is where we learn to get curious about ourselves instead of judgmental. Why do I hold this belief? Why do I believe this thing to be true? When I recognize that it's not mine, it was only adopted or accepted, programmed, I can release the need to continue to engage in that belief, to hold it within my being. Feeling totally supported, totally relaxed in the seated posture. The specific postures for knowing your inner alignment, your inner balance, or for that word alignment. What's in alignment with my being and what is not in alignment with the truth, the core of who and what I am, the spirit. This is where I sift away the chaff. What's mine and what's not. What is in alignment with the truth of my being, and what is not serving that, what is not supporting that place. Ensuring that we're not punishing ourselves for adopting certain beliefs or taking on certain programs in our experience. Just knowing that we've always been doing the best we can at each and every moment. But choosing to no longer carry those things with us any longer. No longer carrying what is not mine, the weight of the things, the weight of the expectations. Choose to no longer enforce those things. We have about 3.5 minutes left here. So take this opportunity, every moment of it, to really be present and listen. To be in deep devotion to your own higher self, your own spirit. Taking this opportunity to communicate, being so grateful for our ability to listen to our own heart and to create choices and actions that support it. Such an amazing opportunity. Nice slow breath. And we're creating these habits of shifting away from these old belief systems, these old social programs, these things that we used to think were our truth, but we find are actually not in alignment with our highest being. Every time these energies try to come back into our energetic space, we might be setting them aside today, placing them down, releasing them today. But as those energies try to come back into that energetic space where they were once comfortable, or they were once accepted, we remind ourselves, that is not my truth. Every time an old memory or an old thought comes in that tries to reinforce that old belief, remind yourself, that is not my truth. That is not my truth. And then embrace what is your truth. It is not my truth that I am not smart enough. My truth tells me that I have all of the infinite knowledge, all of the infinite wisdom that I need to achieve the dreams of my heart. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath at the top, apply, root, lock, move it on if it's within your practice today. Seal that energy inside of your own being. All the alchemy that's occurred, all the transformation, beginning of the shift, so that we can embody fully and completely the conscious choice. Exhale, release the breath, release the hand, release the lock. Take a couple gentle neck rotations here, shoulder circles if you need to. Close the eyes, take a couple moments just to be aware of your own being and to feel into your energetic space and the quality of what that feels like right now after this first exercise. Gently allowing those eyes to flutter open. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come into our next exercise. For that next exercise, we're going to place our thumbs into the hollows of our eyes. Can't really see it on me because of my shaggy dog bangs. Right there on either side of the bridge of the nose. It's really slow and gentle. Feeling the energy between the two palms of the hands, compress it between those two hands until they find themselves in prayer pose. Close the eyes. Draw the awareness back inside of your own being, dropping the shoulders back and down. Take those nice, deep, long breaths. Again, very slow, in and out through the nose. Breathing as long and as slowly as you can. Again, we're going to be here for 11 minutes. This exercise is knowing your inner projection. What is the projection that you create about yourself? The image, the way that you perceive your own being, that you hold within your own mind's eye, within your own heart, about who and what you are. And taking note as to whether those beliefs, whether that image is in alignment with the soul space, the truth of the soul space, which is divinity expressing itself as humanity. all potential, acceptance and allowance, unconditional love, that vision of ourselves that embraces the totality of our being, the wholeness of who and what we are, not just focusing on the imperfection of the humanity, but the beauty that exists from living and experiencing through this human experience. This human embodiment. Are you placing the microscope on all of the perceived flaws and imperfections? Are you allowing the broad perspective that expresses the beauty of your own being, all of the amazing intricacies that create the infinite beauty of your own being, that divinity? If you find that you more frequently focus on the flaws and the imperfections, take this time, this morning on your mat, to seek the beauty. What are the things you most appreciate about who and what you are? We have to stop tearing ourselves down but expecting the rest of the world to lift us up. True peace that comes from knowing yourself, truly knowing yourself, can only come from within. Kind of change has to happen from the inside out. Setting the energetic tone for how we want to be treated, and how we want to experience this life. Remembering that I don't need the validation from anyone or anything outside of myself to tell me who or what I am, because they could never know. It is up to me to show them what that looks like. Through the beliefs that I hold about myself, through the way that I treat myself. You're already more than halfway through. You only have about 5 more minutes here. So soak up every moment. Your way of living in this world is by reacting to the expectations, perceptions, and beliefs that other people hold about you. You'll never find the truth of your own being. You'll never embody the truest version of yourself because you're always going to be busy trying to maintain the perceptions that other people hold about you. Three more minutes. Most magnificent, radiant qualities of your own being. Allow those things to shine forth. Allow those things be what you initially identify yourself by. Those qualities, that potential, that infinite possibility, that ancient wisdom and knowledge of your own being. Remembering to focus those eyes on that third eye space. Feel that light stretch, the gentle stretch on the eyes as you gaze upward towards the brow bone. Remaining focused on that intuition, the voice that comes from within. Inhale deeply, suspending the breath at the top, applying your block with a bond. Exhale, release the lock, release the hands, release the breath. Stretch out those legs and pedal them out if you need to. Take any gentle movements that you might need before coming back into that easy seated posture, closing the eyes and just taking note of how you're feeling inside the body and in the energetic field. Gently allowing those eyes to open up whenever you're ready. We're going to come into our third exercise or kriya, which is really a beautiful one, and it's for knowing our own inner strength. And I really like sitting in this posture anyways when I'm meditating sometimes, just because it really connects me to myself. But we're going to place our right hand over our heart space. Left hand comes on top of that. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed back and down. Easy seated posture. Close the eyes. Draw the awareness up towards the third eye space. Long deep breaths. And this is our exercise to know your inner strength. Breathing as slowly as you can. Create a pressure here with those hands, really pressing into that heart space, feeling into the depth of your own strength. Even when we get tired and we think we don't have anything else left to give, we're so much stronger than we think. There's so much more tenacity and grit and ability to thrive. Deep within our own being. So reminding ourselves of the immense amount of strength and power that exists within your own being. You always have everything you need to live in each and every moment. Our experiences in life are just experiences. They're not meant to make us judge ourselves or tell stories about who and what we are, to make ourselves believe that we are weak. All of the things that happen in our life experience are there for our evolution, expansion. Those things happen to give us the ability to have a deeper awareness of our own being, knowledge of who and what we are, to learn about ourselves, to get curious about why we do the things we do, what we do, where do I want to focus my energy, what's important to me, what is the desire of my own heart. Those experiences are not there to limit us, but to give us the ability to have a deeper awareness of the self, so that all of our choices are more aware, more conscious. All of our actions are reflective of that. You have everything you need already inside of you. All of the resources, all of the support. You're never alone. The universe is always conspiring in your favor, working to support and uplift you through each and every situation, every circumstance. Don't forget to associate yourself with that strength, that tenacity, that grit. Allow that strength to radiate from out, from within. And allow that strength, that light, the core of your being, to fill you up, to lift you up, to remind you how strong you are. Give yourself permission to feel into that strength. We're already about 5 minutes in, and we have 6 minutes left. So really call that energy, that part of your being forth. The heart that continues to beat no matter how hard things get. The body that's always supporting you and sustaining you through each and every experience. Grateful for that support. And the infinite power of your own soul. No limitation. To the well of strength that exists within your own being. Do not engage in the beliefs or the thoughts that tell you that you are less than, that you're not strong enough, that you don't have what you need. Do not feed those energies. Feed the energies that tell you, that remind you how strong you truly are. Three more minutes to get lost into, to appreciate, to honor the love that you have for your own being, to uplift and be in deep gratitude for your expression of humanity. Give yourself permission to be in deep devotion to the beauty of your own being. And the light that shines from within. is felt throughout the entire universe. The way you feel about yourself matters. The energy that you project can affect a star across your universe. Your vibration matters. So ensure it is of the quality that you want to vibrate. Continuing to apply that pressure into your heart space. Inhale deeply, suspending the breath. Apply your root lock. Seal that energy of strength and vitality, tenacity within your being. Exhale, release the hands, release the lock, release the breath. Take a little bit of gentle movement here. Kick out your legs if you need to a little bit. And then drawing yourself down into your final Shavasana posture. Lengthen through the legs. Allowing that body to fall into the earth slowly and gently, vertebra by vertebra. Palms of the hands can be face up to the sky or face down into the earth, depending on what feels the best to you this morning. Find your breath and sink into the earth. And just surrender. Stop trying to control, stop trying to force, stop trying to press. No attachment to the outcome, just allowing, moving with the natural flow of life. Allow yourself to be fully and completely. Pure radiation of your own being. No holding back, no suppressing, no playing it small. Allowing the fullest radiation of your own being to be expressed and felt. Sinking into your breath. Feeling into the beauty of relaxing into your own being, relaxing into the earth. Feel into the quality of who and what you are, and the beauty that radiates from within your own being, completely embrace that space so that you can fully trust in what comes next, in the choices you make and the actions you take. Trusting in yourself. You are trustworthy. Your spirit knows exactly what it means. If you're feeling frightened about what comes next, don't be. Learn to embrace the uncertainty. Allow it to lead you places. Be brave as it challenges you to exercise both your heart and your mind as you create your own path towards happiness. And don't waste time with regret. Spin wildly into your next action. Be playful with your life. Enjoy the present each moment as it comes, because you'll never get another one quite like it. And if you should ever look up and find yourself lost, simply take a breath and start over. Retrace your steps and go back to the purest place in your heart, where your hope lives, where the purest expression of your own being exists. And you will find your way again. Slowly and gently draw yourself back into the present moment by taking the gentle movements necessary to facilitate your ability to come back, to feel into this room, to feel into this time and space, and to feel into your own physical body, wiggling the fingers and toes, wrapping the hands around the wrists or the feet around the ankles, taking whatever gentle stretches are necessary. And then on your next inhalation, drawing the knees into the chest, rocking and rolling upward into a comfortable seated posture whenever you're ready. Coming into that easy seated posture, take the palms of the hands together, plant those thumbs into the heart space, hands in prayer pose, so that we can finish our practice today with 3 long set noms. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhaling to begin. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Namaste. The divinity that exists within me honors the beauty and the divinity that exists within each and every one of you. A divine expression of humanity. Thank you for joining me this morning, and I'm sorry we didn't get to the meditation. I usually think we're going to have time for it, and it's like that hour just flies. So I really appreciate you joining me today. Tomorrow is the Great Conjunction. Jupiter and Saturn will be merging. So tomorrow for the restorative class, we're going to do a really beautiful extra something to help facilitate that great shift that we're going to be experiencing during this winter solstice time. A very powerful new portal of energy is going to be opening up and available to us. So making sure we're leaving behind the stuff that's no longer serving us, that we don't want to draw into that new energetic expression of being, and really tapping into the fullness of who and what we are. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great week. Enjoy that great conjunction, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.